Great day, everyone. Today is Sunday, May 20th, 2018, and we're back. Finally here doing the daily word.
Good morning, everyone.
On this beautiful Sunday. So go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Been away for a couple of days, and just want to share with you guys that take time for yourselves as well, because that's what we did. We took time for ourselves instead of getting caught up in the loudness and the busyness of social media. So take the time for yourself and take a break and connect within. So let's everybody take a deep centering breath of consciousness, of awareness. And let's just connect with this present moment. Let's feel the liveness of this present moment. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And all as one, ready to receive. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. We are so grateful to be back, to be able to share this space with you in awareness. And the more we work with people, the more we realize that there's such a need for awareness. There's such a need for presence to fully live. And it's such a blessing to be able to bring that. It's such a blessing to see people's face shift when they realize they're not victims. When they realize that they're not stuck where they're at, that there's always a way, that there's always a possibility, that there's nothing impossible. And I just want to say thank you everyone for doing your work and your inner work, to our students, to the new people that we've been meeting. It's such a pleasure. You don't know how enriching and fulfilling it feels to see where most people will say this person has no hope, this person is lost, and to see the aliveness and awakeness that these people are starting to manifest and experience, where we look and we look and we look, but we forget the main component, which is the relationship with ourselves and our higher power, greater power, creator, universe, source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call that. But that relationship that you have with that, that's the most important. So let's take a minute. Thank you for joining us again, because this is why we do what we do, to bring a little awareness to wherever you're at, in the corner, wherever you're at in the world. That we want to bless you. What we've been blessed with is awareness, presence, and not just reading it and studying it, but living it. What you get here, practice it. We repeat this again and again and again. Practice this, practice this, practice this. Because just filling up our heads ain't going to get us nowhere. It's going to help, but it's not going to get us anywhere, because we're not fulfilling the experience. So, that being said, the word for today is, and our mother is here in spirit and mind with us. The word for today is, oh no, oh man, look what we missed. Divine expression. What were we just talking about? Expressing that divinity that you are. And how do you do that? Living your purpose, living your potential, living your place that you came to live in this world. Every one of you came to live in your place, not in anybody else's place, not in my place, not in Ali's place, not in anyone that you think. You can use them as a role model, but find your place, find your passion, find your purpose, because each one of you got it. Each one of you have it. And there's no more, no less. So, this says, in truth, I cannot fail. In truth, I cannot fail. My divine nature, the truth of who I am, is not simply a presence within me. It is the very essence of every cell in my body, every thought in my mind. A sense of failure in any undertaking is a fear-based thought in my mortal mind. It has no reality in spiritual truth. Whatever the appearance may be, there is always a lesson, a spiritual awareness that will support and encourage me as I make future choices. As long as I remember to claim the good in every choice I make, there can be no failure in my life experience. I'm going to repeat that. As long as I remember. That means to awaken, to remember. As long as I remember to claim the good in every choice I make, I'm going to change the word good to a word that I resonate. I'm going to say this word authentic. As long as I remember to claim the authentic in every choice I make, there can be no failure in my life experience. Today I welcome every opportunity to make a creative choice that perfectly expresses my true spiritual self. Today I welcome, meaning you don't fight, meaning you don't resist. You can question, but welcome it. Today I welcome every opportunity to make a creative choice that perfectly expresses my true spiritual self. Gonna get the message? The scripture is in Romans 8:5. Do you want to look it up? Please. This is in the King James, and it says, "For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit set their minds on the things of Spirit."
And that's 8 what?
8:5. And we were talking with some amazing people yesterday, and we had a great get together at the park with an amazing brother.
There's 8, 5 through
8, 5 through 8. Okay. So 8:5 says, "Those who think they can do it on their own end up obsessed with measuring their own moral muscle, but never get around to exercising it in real life. Those who trust God's actions in them find that God's Spirit is in them, living and breathing God." Obsession with self in these matters is a dead end. Attention to God leads us out into the open, into a spacious, free life. Focusing on the self is the opposite of focusing on God. Anyone completely absorbed in self ignores God, ends up thinking more about self than God. That person ignores who God is and what God is doing, and God isn't pleased at being ignored. There's a very deep misconception, but you'd have to get the classes to really get a deeper awareness of what we live, breathe, and share with people. Obsession with self, and I'm going to do this in the basic, simplest term, without taking too much of your time, because I know that today is a lot of people's day that they go to church, but there's a lot of misconceptions about obsession with self. That was a moment to pause and breathe. Obsession with self, there is a lower self and there is a higher self. What people call higher self can be referred to I am, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, God, consciousness, universe, creator. When you're focused on lower self, you're focused on your idea of reality. Your idea of reality is what you think reality is. But when you focus on the higher self, you let go of what you think is true, of what you think is real, of what you think is your reality, and you go into that silence of your being. That's why we focus on the silence, because that's not where your lower self has any hold. It has no power. So, when it says, can you read it again? Thank you. When it says those who focus on the self is opposite of focusing on God. Obsession with self in these matters is a dead end. So I'm going to ask you guys a question to put this into perspective. If you've been listening to the brain, all the conceptions, all the ideas, all the perceptions, all the fears, the doubts, the frustrations, the stress, then you're focusing on the lower self. Even if you focus on the positive, you're focusing on the lower self. And a lot of people don't get this because you're still focusing on your perspective of that. But if you clear your mind and you ask Spirit to reveal the authentic truth within you, you're focusing on not the higher self, people call the higher self, but the authentic true self. That isness, that being that you are. Because God is speaking through that. See, God speaks through the center of our being. And I was talking with someone yesterday, and it really opened more clarity. Because we think the intelligence is here. The intelligence is not here. This is the translator. This is what gives you your truth. This is truth. When you get truth, it goes through this filter, which is communication. What do you communicate within yourself? Do you think you're not good enough? That's the message you're going to get. Do you think you're not smart enough? That's the message you're going to get. Do you think you're not beautiful enough? That's the message you're going to get. So your truth is not here. Your truth is at the center of your being. But how you communicate and how you integrate with reality is what you're going to experience here. That's it. Think about that. Meditate on that. So, in truth, I cannot fail. That's your word for today. Divine expression. You are a divine expression of I am. Of that is everything. We all are. Every tree, every flower, every ant, every bird, everything in this reality is an expression of a divine expression of I am. No more, no less. Everything is divine. Everything. Now, when you can more in tune and align yourself with your truth of divine expression, you will see the divine in everything. But how are you communicating with yourself? Ali?
For my heart, the only thing I can say at the moment where it says, in truth I cannot fail, meaning follow your heart. Your heart never lies to you.
Yes.
You will know, you know your truth. You know when you fool yourself. You know when you're authentic with yourself. So as long as you're authentic with yourself and you express that out, because sometimes we want to be authentic in here, but what we express isn't the authenticity that's in here. We express what we think someone wants to hear, what we think someone wants to experience. But if you really come from your heart, then there's no way that you can fail.
Exactly.
That's it in a nutshell.
Very well said. And that's why we say that's the component of living. What you learn, what you remember, what you realize, live it, practice it. Because if you don't practice it, you're not really aligning with it. You're just living in a fantasy world. And trust me, I can tell you from personal experience, I lived in a fantasy world for many years. So, in conclusion, remember to, and we're going to repeat this every time. So, we're joining live on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Sign up for our classes. Sign up for our classes. Sign up for our classes. Subscribe to our videos on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's not our channel, it's Spirit's channel, but subscribe to the channel on YouTube. If you desire to continue to get valuable, enriched content that's going to move you, propel you to the next level within yourself, because we see it every day. We see it with our students, we see it within ourselves, with our families. I mean, our families are just harmonizing like never before. We feel like we're living in a dream. And we know it's not a dream. So that's not what we're saying. We feel like we're living in a dream, but we say, you know what? No. I am a powerful creator. I am the master of my reality. God, Spirit, Creator, gave me the authority over my world. Not nobody else's world, over my world. So take authority over your world and be authentic, and not a coincidence. Take authority over your word, which is your world, and take your space back in this full experience of life. If you desire to do that, sign up for our classes. Subscribe to our videos. Blessings, blessings, blessings. May you all have a great, amazing, incredible day living your truth as a divine expression of I am, because you are that. Blessings.